So, lads, today we're going to be talking about Caitlin Clark, and we're going to be talking about how she played last night in general, and whether or not this is, or what is the story with this slump. What is the story with the slump? Because obviously she had more turnovers than points yesterday, but at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think it's the war, like it was a bad performance. I actually don't. I think that Caitlin was way better than I thought she was. Like, initially watching the game, I watched back a little bit of the game. She just missed shots. Like, of her turnovers, not all turnovers are the same. And I think people need to know that. I think people just in general, when it comes to basketball, need to know that all turnovers are not the same. She committed one live ball turnover when Nneka Nwumeke jumped the passing lane, and that was just a sloppy pass. She committed the vast majority were dead ball turnovers. 2 turnovers, were live ball turnovers that were the fault of Caitlin. So, Caitlin Clark had, of her 8 turnovers, 2 of them were passes to Natasha Howard. One, Natasha Howard just swiped on air. The other, the ball was thrown at Natasha Howard's chest, and the ball just hit her and went away. Like, Natasha Howard does, in fact, have hands made of stone. I think we can be honest here. She has hands made of stone, but that's not the be-all and end-all. Like, it happens. It happens. There are players that have hands made of stone all the time. It's basketball. Players are always going to be like that. But at the end of the day, it's not Caitlin Clark's fault. I consider a teammate not catching the ball to be a team turnover. I think she threw one really bad one. Neither of her travels were travels, by the way. Albeit, the one on Erica Wheeler at the end of the game was, I'm not joking, Wheeler fouled her at least 4 times. And that is me being conservative, saying Wheeler fouled her 4 times. It was at least 4. It might have been more. Like, Wheeler might have fouled her 5 times in that play. And then Caitlin shoved Wheeler off. So Caitlin then committed an offensive foul. And then Caitlin passed the ball to Aaliyah Boston. And they called a travel. She did not travel. She committed an offensive foul after being defensively fouled 5 times. And then the other travel was not a travel either. It was literally just an awkward move to the basket. Like, it happens. It's basketball. But at the end of the day, I didn't think she was bad as far as her turnovers were concerned. And the jump shots, like, you got to just keep shooting them. I don't care how many she misses. I don't care how many she airballs. She's not shooting higher degree of difficulty shots than she normally does. This is Caitlin Clark. Like, when you shoot the shots Caitlin Clark shoots, you're going to make them eventually. And her inability to make layups is a weird concern. But at the same time, she did miss one really bad layup, but she made a couple of tough ones. She made a tough mid-range shot. I think she is trying to find a way of just getting everything to work. And I would not consider... I think the Aces game was a game where down the stretch, she was making really bad decisions that lost him the game. I don't think she made many bad decisions in this game. I think she was a little bit hesitant at times. But, like, some of the passes that she threw to Sophie Cunningham was missing. Some of the passes she made to Natasha Howard, and Natasha Howard just dropped the ball. Like, it is... I still think her playmaking is there. I think her gravity is there. And everybody complaining that she doesn't have a handle. Like, she has turned the ball over once. How many times this season has Caitlin Clark turned the ball over due to her handle? Like, I would say, on being blitzed by her because of her handle. There's a difference between being blitzed on her handle and getting a ball tipped on a pass, which Ezi Magbagor did a couple of times. Magbagor is so lengthy. Has nothing really to do with the handle. But at the end of the day, how many times in the game, in the last 5 games, or in these 3 games, has she had the ball stripped from her? Once. Chelsea Gray fouled the shit out of her, but at the end of the day, the refs aren't going to call it because the refs aren't going to call it. And that was it. Her handle's fine. Her handle's been fine. She was able to get by Erica Wheeler, who did a really good job guarding her in that game a couple of times. She was able to get by Gabby Williams a couple of times. She got hacked by Ezi Magbagor on the one where she missed the layup. Like, she literally... There's footage of Ezi Magbagor just grabbing her with 2 hands. Just, like, hugging her. When she had the ball in her hand, it did not matter. at the end of the day, I think it's her demeanor that is more concerning than anything else. Like, I still think Caitlin Clark is a good basketball player. I still think she's a really good basketball player. And last night, I mean, look, I'm watching the game, I'm reacting, especially because it's 7 o'clock or it's 6 o'clock in the morning by the time these games are done. And I woke up at 9 a.m. So I've been up for 21 hours. And I'm like, you start to see the mistakes as bigger. You start to see mistakes as bigger than they are. And you start to see some things that aren't there. And realistically, her demeanor, what I'm most concerned about is her demeanor. Like, that is the concern, is that, like, she's getting hacked and she's not even complaining to refs anymore. And people are like, oh, there's not many shots to celebrate. Like, she made 3 touchdown passes for layups. She generated 3 layups. Like, how many layups does she generate a game for players? Like, regardless of her assist numbers, there is nobody in the WNBA that generates layups like Caitlin Clark. Like, most of her assists are to layups. And, like, she could have, if Sophie Cunningham hit one of the open shots, one of the many open shots that Caitlin generated for her, or if, like, she would have had 12, 13, 14 assists. And she could have easily had it with the way she's been playmaking. Like, the fact is that she hasn't had a 10 assist game. She had a 20 or 19 and 10 assists against the Aces. And funnily enough, of her last 3 games, the only one that has been like a good, by like, if you looked at it, the stat line wasn't like the Aces stat line was her best stat line, but that was in my opinion the only game that I would say Caitlin Clark has lost for the team. And if anything else, like, her gravity is huge. And I think if you want to look at yesterday, I watched back the Sid Colson minutes. When the team is running and playing aggressive, Sid Colson plays aggressive. When the team plays passive, Sid Colson plays passive. And if nothing else, regardless of how Caitlin played, she is still the best orchestrator of that system in the WNBA. She's absolutely the best orchestrator of that system. So I think there are conversations to be had with Aari McDonald back. Should she play 40 minutes? Or there's now times in games where if she's really struggling, and like the Aces game, I'm not even going to say yesterday was really struggling, because I don't think of her without her pushing the tempo and setting the tone early in that game. Like, she was on the floor during that big run to end the first quarter. She was on the floor for a lot of it. I think without her imposing herself on that game, I think without her imposing her style on that game, the Fever probably don't win that. Because I think that is as important as anything else. Because she does get easy shots for good players. But at the end of the day, with Aari McDonald there, it means if she's having a true stinker, like the Aces where she's committing live ball turnovers and back-to-back-to-back turnovers, there is a competent backup player that in key stages you're like, sometimes it's just not going to be Caitlin's night. Sometimes it's just not going to be Caitlin's night. It's going to be somebody else's night. And the fact you've got a competent backup is going to help. It is going to help. But when it comes to Caitlin Clark, I'm worried about her demeanor more than anything. Like, that is what I'm concerned about. I don't care necessarily about the slump. She's going to start hitting shots. She's like 1 of 28 from 3 away from home on the season, which is mad. Which is actually mad. I've never seen that. She's shooting 45% from 3 at home, and she's shooting like 3% from 3 away. I've never seen anyone shoot like that. And look, it's going to take one game for her to break this slump. We know it. Like, we know it's going to take one game for her to break this slump because it's Caitlin effing Clark. Like, she is, at her best, the best guard in the league by a mile. Like, there's no other guard on her stratosphere. Like, when Caitlin is firing on all cylinders with how she can conduct a team, with how she can run, there is not a guard that is remotely close to her. So that is the one huge thing, is that at her best, no one can touch her. It's just the thing where it's like, how much longer does this slump have to last for her to be concerned? I'm concerned because of her demeanor. And if this slump lasts for 3 more games, and I don't care if she missed the shots. I'm talking about the overall intensity slump. Because Caitlin is at her best when she's Demon Caitlin. When she doesn't give a damn about what else anyone is doing or saying, and she's just there to hoop. She's there to hoop. She's there out there having fun playing basketball. And that is probably the biggest concern, is that I don't know if it does not appear that Caitlin Clark's having fun playing basketball. And I could be wrong. There's a very good chance I am wrong. I don't know Caitlin. It doesn't appear. Even when they're winning. Because, and you might be saying, oh, Caitlin's going through a bit of a slump. That's why she's pissed. She doesn't care that her team has won the games. She's too selfish for herself. Man, watch Caitlin Clark end of June, start of July last year. Till the Washington game. She went on the slumpiest of slumps. Like, there was literally a 3 to 4 game spell in there where they beat the Liberty. They beat the Liberty. They beat the Mystics. Sorry, not the Mystics, the Mercury. And they beat the Lynx. Like, they were all in a, like, not too long break of each other. They won those 3 games, and all of a sudden, Caitlin is killing it. She's taking over games, but she's missing shots. But if you want to watch those games back, like, that was like her being aggressive. And she's not making aggressive mistakes anymore. Like, she's not making a pass that would be a good pass and launching it into the stands. Like she did quite a lot of times in the Liberty game when they won. When they lost. When they lost to Liberty by 2 with the Liberty having their full team and they blew the big lead. Caitlin Clark was super aggressive. Regardless of what happened, she was aggressive. She took over the game. There is a lack of aggression right now in Caitlin Clark's play, and that is the biggest concern. I don't care if she misses shots. There is a serious lack of aggression, and look, when she gets firing, this team could be really good. And again, top 3 team in the WNBA. I think I have them as my 4th in terms of like odds of winning a championship. I have them a 4. In my opinion, the Phoenix Mercury are the have to be seen as the 3rd best team. Just Alyssa Thomas, just everything with the Phoenix Mercury. They are just a well-oiled machine. So I think it's hard to go out there and say that they're not better than Fever right now. But at the end of the day, I also think that it's one of those situations where the Indiana Fever have to figure out a way to get her aggressive again. Because it seems like somebody after the Sun game told Caitlin to stop being Caitlin. It legitimately seems like that. Like, obviously, I don't think that's the case. And I don't know why I said obviously is not the case, because who knows? Genuinely, who knows at this stage? But yeah, that is the video. I'll see you guys.